This section of the video introduces teaching progressions and common errors that occur within the attack. At the beginning of each progression, coaches must introduce and teach the focused on part of the skill. This progression will focus on the correct overhead action by having athletes first throw a volleyball over and then under the net with a partner. Throwing has similar elements that a coach can highlight and focus on. It is important that coaches remind athletes to have a high elbow that is rotated away from the shoulder. A correction cue that can be used here is elbow above your ear. Coaches must notice when athletes step forward with the wrong foot. This does not allow for full rotation and can be an early indicator of a goofy foot athlete. A correction cue that can be used here is step with your opposite foot of the throwing arm. This progression introduces the striking action by having the athletes self-toss and attack the ball over and under the net with a partner, focusing on generating spin on the ball. Remind athletes that the correct contact point is in front of the hitting shoulder and as high as they can reach. They must keep their hand open and firm before snapping the wrist. A correction cue that can be used here is reach high, firm hand. When athletes don't toss the ball high enough, they cannot get their elbow back and away from their shoulder. Encourage athletes to toss the ball with both hands higher than they can reach. A correction cue that can be used here is high toss, elbow back. If athletes are having trouble with hand contact on the ball, athletes can go close to the wall and toss and attack the ball to bounce the ball off the wall and back at them. The focus is to have a high elbow to start with and a small toss so the hand can contact the ball with the wrist snapping over. This progression adds a coach tossing the ball to athletes who will first attack over and then under the net. By having the coach toss, the accuracy increases, but the player must still move to the ball if necessary. Athletes often have a delayed striking action and contact the ball over their left shoulder, creating an unstable contact point. A correction cue that can be used here is faster arm, contact over the right shoulder. In this progression, the footwork of the attack is added. Initially, athletes will perform dry runs of the attack and then will approach and catch a ball from a partner, aiming to catch at the highest point of their jump. The last two steps and arm swing timing are the focus. Ensure athletes are explosive and driving upwards. It is key that a coach notices athletes landing on one foot. This leads to an unbalanced landing as well as ACL injuries. A correction cue that can be used here is 2-foot landing, weight balanced. This progression adds the first step of the attack, which is considered the directional or timing step. Dry runs and partner catching will occur once again. While athletes are performing dry runs, coaches must determine whether any athletes are goofy footers and have reversed footwork. Have these players approach until the correct pattern is established. A correction cue that can be used here is left, right, left for a right-handed athlete. Athletes often approach too early when attacking. This causes them to be on the way down when attacking, or in this case, catching the ball. A correction cue to be used here is wait, catch at your highest point. In this progression, athletes can use a 2 or 3 step approach to attack a 30 to 60 centimeter toss from the coach, as this eliminates much of the timing. Ensure you are watching for the athlete's non-dominant arm to be involved in the attack, as it leads the striking action and helps generate power. A correction cue to be used here is left arm up. This progression involves athletes to time the attack based on the height of the toss from the coach. Remind athletes that they still need to angle their approach when approaching from the middle. A correction cue to use here is 45-degree angle, open to setter. Athletes now attack from the outside, where more variation in the height and location of the toss can occur. Hip slides often occur, and this is when the hips slide under the shoulder as the arms swing forward. The athlete must be reminded to engage their core and bring their shoulders forward to generate power. 2 attack outcomes can occur and are shown in the video. A correction cue here is hips behind the ball.